Welcome again, guys. Let's learn more here so that we may continue learning on how to start and run a successful poultry farm. I have realized I have been doing very many videos on how to start and run a successful poultry farm, ignoring now the most important topic on how to start and run this successful poultry farm. And today we want to start with the basics on how to start and run a successful poultry farm without a struggle. So guys, I want us to start the basics, and we want to start with the biosecurity, which is very much crucial for every poultry farmer. You realize for you to achieve some good results with your stock or with your chicken, it depends highly on the healthy status of the birds you are going to keep. You realize a good healthy status of the birds is important because of two major reasons. The reason number one is that healthy chickens are very good producers, and you realize when they are affected by a disease, they are going now to cost you energy and they are going to cost you money when you are buying now the antibiotics to treat them, and this will affect your profitability. Number two, the goal of keeping your own chicken is for you to produce quality eggs which you are going to hatch for you to get good quality chicks. So you realize you need now to ensure that you take good care of this chicken so that you may not lose any of them during the early stages, or disease may not invest them during these crucial stages, so that you may not lose any of those birds. You realize the hatching eggs, they need to be very safe, free from pathogens and any other contaminations, to ensure that they do not affect the process of developing of the chicks, and also they encourage good eggs. They will encourage some good development. So biosecurity programs are very key, and they need to be installed in each and every poultry farm, together with good vaccination programs to ensure that farmers do the right thing at the right time. Farmers, in order to implement biosecurity program, you need to understand what biosecurity is all about. Biosecurity is about now preventing the instance of the disease outbreak in your poultry farm. Biosecurity is a means of preventing the risk of entrance of pathogens into the stock or into the poultry house. Biosecurity is the eradication and the management of risks of disease getting into your poultry farm. And again, you realize biosecurity is recognizing the risks, and you act accordingly as early as possible. So farmers, a disease can enter into a poultry farm in two ways. Can enter either through direct contacts or indirect contacts. So in direct contact, you can get some affected diseases, some affected chicken. Then you bring them into your breeder farm or in your poultry farm. Then your chicken will be affected by this disease. Number two, you realize disease can also be introduced indirectly by the visitors who you are allowing now to enter into your breeder farm or in your poultry farm, and also can be contracted by workers. Also, some rodents can cause the disease. Also, we can have some flies, trucks entering into the poultry farm, and also feed and equipment, and many more things can also affect now the biosecurity features in your poultry farm, and it can affect the flock, which can end up dying. Then you lose all your money. So it's very much important to keep these basic things very clear, and very much important to ensure you succeed in poultry farming at all costs. So biosecurity is the most effective method of disease control, and the challenge is not now implementing the biosecurity measures with very many farmers. The challenge now comes on maintaining the biosecurity features which you need to maintain in your poultry farm, so that you may succeed and be able to do the right thing in your breeder farm or in your poultry farm. This series is very much crucial, and I want us to go step by step so that you may be able to understand these things in a clear manner, so that you may not lose any of your birds at any point in time. I'm recording this in my breeder farm so that you may be able to see the same. I have not been able to have enough money to improve on these things, but I'm working towards them so that I may have the best biosecurity practices and I may produce the best for my customers. So farmers, it is very much important to keep all these small minor things in hand so that you may be able to succeed. Biosecurity comes number two with the housing where where you are going now to store the chicken and how you are going to maintain them. Allow me to show you the poultry house which I use now in my breeder farm so that I may be able to keep my chicken. So this is how it looks like. It's a duplex house, and ideally for the breeder farm or for any rearing birds, the poultry house or the poultry farm should be located away from other poultry houses and should be managed under one principle. The principle we normally call it all in and all out principle. What do we mean? You don't mix chicken of different ages in the breeder farm or in your brooder so that you may be able to succeed. This is because you may contract a disease which may affect your chicken in the long run, then you kill all the birds. Let me show you a snapshot of what we have here. You realize all these breeder stock you can see here, they are all of the same age. So we have ensured we have only this parent stock at the same age in this house. And this is how it looks like at all the corners. This is now the first paddock. The second paddock is here with me. We have ensured they are all the same age. We don't mix them, and they are located in different paddocks so that they may not interact with each and other chicken. So you realize the house should be constructed in a way which is very simple to ensure that there is free movement of air from eastern side to the western side, as you can see in our breeder house. It is well ventilated. The reason we construct it like this, we want to ensure there is free movement of air from the other side to this side. It is part of biosecurity because this one will reduce now the instances of diseases now entering into this breeder farm. And you need now to implement this in your poultry farm so that you may not be able now to lose any birds anytime. You realize if you are living in a cold areas, don't have your house constructed like this. Make sure the wall is raised a little bit so that you may not lose any of your birds due to cold weathers or extreme hot weathers. Like for our case, we are using this one to ensure that because Bungoma is somehow hot and wet. Another thing, make sure you make a clear separation of the poultry house. Where now the healthy chicken are, make sure there is a clear separation from one poultry house to the other. In our case, we don't have two poultry houses. So what we use, we ensure that we separated the poultry house into different paddocks so that the chicken may not be able to interact with each other at any point. In case a disease comes now to the poultry farm, we are able to only to tackle one paddock at a time. Then one other thing you need to ensure, make sure now where the dirt now gets in the poultry house is not where now the clean chicken, the clean feeds, the equipment normally pass. Make sure there is a clear separation of two ways, a clean way and a dirty way. For example, you can see where we keep now our manure. Let me just show you where our manure is there. We keep our manure on the other side. Let me show you. Let me just come nearer so that you may be able to see. So this is in our case, because we are limited by space, we are just using the little we have. This is now the dirty way, and the clean way is this one. We normally ensure now we have the feeds now coming from the upper store now to the chicken directly. But when we get now we are removing now the dirt, we get it from the poultry house directly now to this place where we are keeping now our manure, which is very much crucial. Don't mistake. If you have enough money, you have enough space, don't be like me. Have a way where now the dirt will be passing through, and now the clean chicken will be, the clean equipment and everything will be kept. You realize the houses should be rodents proof, and also should not allow now entry of outside animals. Like our case, we have used the chicken wire. There is no bird which can enter now through this chicken wire, and we have now inside, we have the chain link. Ensure that the house is free from rodents and also from insects. Ensure now the outside part of the house is also well trimmed. The grass is well trimmed to ensure that rodents and also mosquitoes don't grow and enter into the poultry house. Because if you don't follow this, it's part of biosecurity, and you are going to lose how your birds at any time. Make sure the distance between now the flock, the distance from the floor to the first floor or to the roof is very much adequate to ensure that there is good ventilation and there is free movement of clean air in the poultry house. When you are having visitors, again, ensure that they have not been in contact with any chicken in the last 48 hours. Preferably, it is advisable so that they should not be in contact with the chicken, any other chicken for the last 72 hours. It may seem to be a longer period, but that is how serious it should be. That's why we don't allow even a visitor now to come and visit this breeder farm, because it's part of biosecurity and we can easily now make this bird sick. Then what will happen, we are going now to produce chicks which are not up to the quality standards which must be adhered and followed too. So make sure those visitors who are coming to your poultry farm, they do a registration and make sure they confirm to you they have not been in contact with any chicken. The best way is to 100% restrict the place where you are keeping the chicken so that you may prevent any contamination which can affect in your poultry farm. The entrance in your poultry farm, as you have seen on my gate, there should be a cloak room where now the visitors or the employees reach. Then they exchange. They have a place well labeled where they are going to remove the clothes which they have come with. Then they are going to take a shower. Then they wear some other some disinfected clothes which they are going to use now to enter the poultry farm. If you are going to ignore this, you are going to lose your birds, because this is the most crucial part which each and every farmer needs to implement in his or her poultry farm so that they may not be able to make the birds sick in your poultry farm. Make sure also your employees don't keep any chicken and they don't interact with any chicken, because they will be interacting with the stock or with the brooder on daily basis, so that it may not lead to contamination in your poultry farm. So it's very much crucial. These things are very minute, but I've realized very many farmers are ignoring them, making them lose a lot of birds and not able to succeed in their poultry ventures. So very basic, but very much crucial to implement so that you may be able to succeed in this poultry farming journey. The other part you need is the issue to do now with the foot baths. I have just done my fencing recently. So what we are going to implement here, we are going to have this place now dug. Then we shall have a footbath from all that place out to this place to ensure anything entering into this poultry farm is well, it disinfects, especially now the vehicles which brings food here, and also maybe a customer who may insist now to come to this breeder farm. So it's very much important to ensure that you have this footbath so that you may not be able to lose even one single bird. It is very much basic but very much crucial to have it on this place. Also in the poultry house, you also need now the footbaths now on the poultry house. What we are doing currently, we are using gumboots and also these clocks which do not move any way further from this breeder farm to ensure that they don't get contamination. So you realize we are producing eggs for hatching. So no joke, you need to be very keen and very serious about this. So farmers, there are other parameters you need to check into a breeder farm or in your brooder on daily basis. If you are keeping a parent stock or you are starting a breeder farm, so that you may be able to succeed there. And we want to look onto them one by one so that you may be able to understand each and every concept about poultry breeding and poultry farming. Number one, the first thing you check on daily basis is the food consumption. Like now what we have here on this breeder farm, we normally ensure that we feed them very early in the morning around 4 a.m. Then we normally check each bird how it has taken the food. How we do it, we normally now look on the clock, whether the clocks of very many birds has some feeds. You just have a small, have their clocks, you tell them to look how much they have consumed, whether they have consumed enough food. So that's basically what you check on daily basis. Number two, you check also on water consumption. We normally ensure these automatic drinkers you see inside here, they have clean and access to water. The chicken have access to clean water. The other aspect you normally check is on the hen's mortality. Do you have any chicken which has died maybe during the night or during the week? You also check on the hen's mortality. You also check on the cockerel's mortality, which is also very crucial to understand if there might be a problem maybe which has affected the bars. You also check on the climate, whether it is very cold, you adjust. We have now the breeder house covered, or you see on what you can improve on the same. You also check on the egg production. How many eggs are they able to produce every day, so that you may be able now to have a clear records and understand them in a better way. There is what we call now the second grade eggs. You have to check on daily basis. These are the eggs which are laid now on the floor, or eggs which are contaminated or which are shapeless. You also check on their condition and their number on daily basis. You also check on the egg size on daily basis to ensure that it attains the hatching size, so that you may not have very small eggs you are taking very small eggs for hatching, which may not produce chicks or may produce very small eggs. You also again check on the fertility. You check fertility from week 25, which is the point of lay where very many birds are already laying. You check on the fertility. Then you also check on the hatch rate, which now happens from week 25. Then you check on the female body weight and also the male body weight, which you check from week 1 to week 25 every week. Then from there you check every month up to the time the chicken are going to retire from now giving you the eggs. Then you also check on the disease status, whether the chicken are affected on monthly or on a weekly basis, so that disease cannot enter into a poultry farm. This is very much crucial because it will need you now to act upon. This poultry farming, you cannot do it when you don't have this basic principle. In case you have some dead chicken, make sure you bury them or you burn them, and make sure they go through the dirty road or the dirty route, as we have discussed in the video. Make sure you have them either buried or you burn them thoroughly, so that they may not bring contamination or sickness to the other healthy birds which you live now in the poultry house, as you can see. The other aspect is on cleaning and disinfection. You realize bacteria can survive in a place for a very long period of time. If you don't disinfect now this poultry house, and also maybe the place where you are brooding the birds, and maybe you are affected by diseases, the disease may still be surviving over there, then you are going to lose all your birds in the long run. So it's very much important to do thorough cleaning and disinfection. There are two basic tasks which are carried out during this cleaning exercise. Number one, we have the cleaning. The purpose of this cleaning is to remove any organic matter to make all the surfaces visually clean. Then it follows the process of disinfection, where you disinfect all the hard surfaces, or you sanitize every clean surfaces which you have now removed the matter. Then we have the downtime, which is normally 2 weeks, where now you keep after you disinfect the place, you keep the place safe for 2 weeks to ensure that no bacteria can survive during this period. So ensure you implement this in a very simple manner. So you realize there are very many disinfectants in the market which you can use now during this stage of disinfection. Make sure you buy the best from the companies, maybe which have been doing it, so that you may do the right thing. So you realize the cleaning and disinfection follows a series of steps which you must follow and also adhere, so that you may be able to succeed. The first step, or the first stage, stage 1, we call it the stage of removal. So in this stage, you remove the livestock. You remember our principle, all in or out, all the stock. If there are some dead birds or carcasses, you remove them. If there are some feed stuffs, maybe, and the equipment, you remove them. You remove the litter. Then you make sure the house, you remove everything from the poultry house. Then from that stage of removal, you go to the second stage, which is normally called now the stage of preparation or preparatory stage. During this stage, you prepare down the drinking system. You drain and refill the drinkers. Then you soak all the services, all the equipment, the feeders and everything. Then you do hard cleaning of all services. Then stage 3, we go now to the stage of washing. You pressure wash all the surfaces of the house, all the floor, and all the dry surfaces with a disinfectant, with a very strong disinfectant. Then the stage 4, we normally go to reassembly. In this stage, what you normally do, you reinstate now the cleaned, the movable equipment into the poultry house when they are completely dry. Then the last stage is the disinfection. By use of a disinfectant, you make sure you disinfect all the equipments, everything. Make sure you have a knapsack sprayer where you are going to spray each and every part and every part of the poultry house. Then you fumigate. Maybe you can use formalin or any other disinfectant maybe in your local, in your access. There are very many in the market, so I don't want to support each and every. Then you have now the sanitary break period. After 2 weeks, now the house to rest before receiving any other birds. Then now we have the preparation of the arrival of the other stock. You check now whether the drinkers and the feeders are functioning well. Don't fill the feeders with food. Number two, you supply the drinking systems or the drinkers with clean water. Then the last one, depending on the time the chicks will arrive, you should ensure now the house is well heated to ensure that the brooder or the poultry house is well heated to ensure that you don't lose any of those birds at any stage. So guys, I want to appreciate, this is just the part one. We are going to go part by part out of the last stage so that we may be able to understand this concept and be able to implement the same in your poultry farm and be able to succeed. I want to appreciate you guys for watching. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much. Continue liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel.